What if we could capture not just the look of a moment, but its very essence, the play of light, the whisper of a breeze, or the glow of a setting sun? This was the revolutionary idea behind Impressionism, a movement that turned the art world upside down in the late 19th century. It wasn't just a style of painting, it was a rebellion against the rigid conventions of academic art. Impressionists sought to break free from the confines of the studio and embrace the world as it was, fleeting, vibrant, and alive. Today we delve into one of the most defining aspects of this movement: loose brushwork, the hallmark of freedom that gave Impressionism its unique voice. Unlike the finely detailed and polished techniques favored by academic painters, Impressionists used quick, loose brushstrokes that seemed almost unfinished. But there was a method to the madness. These strokes captured the way light danced on water, how shadows shifted under the sun, and the subtle movement of clouds. Take, for instance, Claude Monet's impression, Sunrise. With just a few bold strokes, Monet painted the shimmering reflection of the sun on water, evoking the feeling of dawn breaking over a harbor. It wasn't about perfect details, it was about emotion, energy, and immediacy. The loose brushwork wasn't just a stylistic choice, it was a philosophical one. By painting en plein air, outdoors and in natural light, Impressionists aimed to depict the world as they saw it, moment by moment. Their technique mirrored life's transience. Camille Pissarro, often called the father of Impressionism, emphasized that a painting should feel alive, like it was still unfolding before the viewer's eyes. Every brushstroke was a window into the artist's perspective, as though you could see the scene forming in real time. The freedom of brushwork reflected the freedom of thought. Traditional art schools taught that a painting should be meticulously planned and perfected in the studio, but the Impressionists rejected this notion. Instead, they embraced spontaneity. Imagine standing in a bustling Parisian park, as Pierre-Auguste Renoir did when painting Luncheon of the Boating Party. Renoir's vibrant dabs of color and blurred edges suggest the laughter, conversation, and joy of the moment, rather than the static perfection of a staged scene. Interestingly, this stylistic shift wasn't purely intuitive, it was informed by science. The Impressionists were fascinated by optics and color theory, learning how the eye perceives light and form. They discovered that dabbing complementary colors side by side could create a visual vibration, making their paintings shimmer. Georges Seurat, while more of a neo-impressionist, expanded this with pointillism, where tiny dots of paint merged into vibrant images. This understanding of light and color made Impressionist brushstrokes both deliberate and dynamic. Not everyone appreciated this newfound freedom. Early critics dismissed Impressionist paintings as sloppy and incomplete. The term Impressionism itself was initially used as an insult, coined by a reviewer mocking Monet's impression, Sunrise. Yet what critics saw as unfinished, others saw as revolutionary. The Impressionists were capturing not just a scene, but an experience, inviting viewers to fill in the details with their imagination. Over time, this unfinished quality became the movement's greatest strength. Loose brushwork also allowed for greater emotional depth. Where traditional art sought to depict an idealized reality, Impressionism was raw and personal. Look at Edgar Degas' paintings of ballerinas. The soft, blurred strokes around their forms convey motion and fragility, immersing us in their world. Degas wasn't just showing us dancers, he was showing us the grace, struggle, and beauty of their craft. The spirit of Impressionism continues to inspire artists today. Its emphasis on freedom, light, and the ephemeral nature of life resonates in contemporary works, from digital art to modern photography. The loose brushwork has transcended the canvas, influencing art forms as diverse as animation and graphic design. Impressionism taught us that art doesn't have to be rigid or polished to be powerful. It can be messy, fleeting, and utterly human. At its core, the loose brushwork of Impressionism wasn't just a technical innovation, it was a new way of seeing the world. It invited us to embrace imperfection, to find beauty in the transient, and to experience art as a moment in time. The Impressionists didn't just paint what they saw, they painted what they felt. Each brushstroke was a heartbeat, a breath, a glimpse of life as it passed by. So the next time you see an Impressionist painting, don't just look at it, feel it. Notice the vibrancy of the colors, the energy of the strokes, and the way it captures a moment that can never be repeated. In their defiance of tradition, the Impressionists gave us a gift, the freedom to see the world not as it is, but as it feels. And in doing so, they reminded us that art, like life, is at its most beautiful when it's free.